Let's talk about the big surprise that you found. Socialism is attractive to millennials, and why is that?
I want your take on the current rise in socialism among youngsters. You know, there is a new poll, 4 in 10 of 30-somethings, or people under the age of 30, got a favorable view of socialism. Can you explain that?
A new survey finding nearly half of millennials now favor socialism over capitalism. Jonathan, what is going on here?
Baby boomers, Generation X and Y. Demographic experts tend to group people together based on their years of birth. Those born between 1981 and 1997 are often called millennials.
Next generation to take the reins in this country, the so-called millennials.
Millennials.
The millennials, as this generation is called.
They're known as millennials or Generation Y.
Millennials, also known as Generation Y.
Millennials, the generation born between 1980 and 2000.
Millennials, that's 18 to 34-year-olds.
For millennials ages 18 to 34.
18 to 35 is the millennial generation.
Aged 18 to 35, millennials are everywhere, literally.
Right now there are more than 80 million Americans who make up the millennial generation.
There are 80 million of them out there, and they are taking over the country.
We're not talking about, what is
cicadas.
That? What are they?
Cicadas.
We're talking about millennials, also known as Generation Yers.
They've now become the largest generation in the United States.
Pew Research finds millennials have now overtaken baby boomers as the largest living populations.
A Pew poll, my favorite kind, finds that 43% of 18 to 29-year-olds think socialism is okay. Meanwhile, 86% of their grandparents don't. So why the gap?
A new survey shows a growing number of U.S. millennials say they'd prefer to live under a socialist system instead of a capitalist one. 44% of U.S. millennials said they'd rather live in a socialist country. 7% said they'd prefer a communist system.
Here's something that's troubling. YouGov did a poll. 45% of young Americans would be likely to vote for an openly socialist presidential candidate.
Also, only 42% of the millennials, Americans born in the 1980s, have a favorable view of capitalism. 46% they'd vote for a socialist.
Some 46% would vote for a socialist. One generation younger than us, those who are in high school now, half of them would vote for a socialist, and 1 in 5 would vote for a communist.
But they don't even know what socialism is, most of them. And
young people, ages 18 to 29, 43% find the word socialism negative, 49% positive. It wins among 18 to 29-year-olds. That's amazing.
It is. Okay, so, I mean, you look at those poll numbers. This is people age 18 to 29, and that is striking. Look at
they
this.
view socialism more positive than capitalism.
That's an amazing disconnect.
Yeah. What's the matter with kids? Apparently they're a bunch of commies. According to a new Harvard survey, 51% of 18 to 29-year-olds said they don't support capitalism, while only 42% said they did. What's the matter with kids today? They supported socialism.
According to a new report, 1 in 2 millennials, that is, those Americans between the ages of 18 and 34, would rather live in a socialist or communist country than a capitalist democracy. This report shows that 1 in every 3 Americans and 1 in every 2 millennials, our generation, would rather live in a socialist or communist nation than a capitalist democracy. That's mind-boggling to me.
Slight percentages, majorities of people under 30 slightly favor the word socialism in 3 or 4 recent polls.
In that same poll, 53% of students admitted that they think socialism would work better for our country than a free market system.
The new survey this morning finds America's youth is remarkably hopeful.
And so this is the generation that rejects capitalism. In fact, the most interesting finding is that 58% believe that socialism is the most compassionate form of economics, and less than 40% choose capitalism.